If you have ever sat in a darkened arena, heart full, eyes wet, and felt that the music reaching your soul was not merely sound but something alive, something breathing and ancient and deeply human, then you already understand what Il Volo does to people. Welcome, dear friends, to a space where music is more than melody, where every note carries the weight of someone's love, and where three young men from Italy have quietly, profoundly, changed the lives of millions across this earth. Tonight, we are not just talking about performances. We are talking about family. We are talking about the invisible hands that shaped these voices long before any stage ever knew their names. There is a moment fans described again and again from Il Volo's Rome concert that has never quite left the hearts of those who witnessed it. The arena was full, thousands of people pressed together in the warm Italian night. And as the opening notes of Grande Amore rose into the air, Piero Barone turned briefly toward the wings of the stage. Just for a second. Just long enough. Those close enough to the front said his eyes glistened. Fans described the moment as one of quiet private prayer, a young man pausing in the middle of triumph to acknowledge something no spotlight could ever touch. Did you feel this moment too, even watching from home on a screen thousands of miles away? The story of Il Volo cannot be told without speaking of the fathers and mothers who drove their sons to auditions in borrowed cars, who sat in cold waiting rooms clutching hope like a ticket, who whispered encouragement into small ears before the world had any idea what those ears could hear. Ignazio Boschetto has spoken with trembling tenderness about his family in Sicily. The kitchen table where music first lived, the relatives who gathered on Sunday afternoons and sang not for applause but for joy. Many who follow Il Volo closely have noted that this rootedness in family love is precisely what separates their sound from the technically polished but emotionally distant. You can hear the kitchen table in every note Ignazio sings. You can hear Sunday afternoon. In Buenos Aires, during one of the most electric nights of their South American tour, something extraordinary and unrehearsed unfolded. Gianluca Ginoble, whose baritone carries the particular gravity of someone who learned to feel before he learned to perform, paused between songs and spoke quietly to the crowd about his grandmother. The arena, which had been alive with noise and energy, fell into a profound and reverent silence. Viewers around the world who watched the footage shared how this performance stayed with them for weeks afterward. Many described crying not because the music was sad, but because it was so completely honest. Gianluca did not perform grief. He simply remembered someone he loved. And 50,000 people remembered someone they loved too. Have you ever felt music like this before? There is a particular kind of light that falls on a stage in Mexico City, golden and saturating, the kind that makes everything feel sacred. When Il Volo performed there in March 2026, the energy of the audience was unlike anything the venue staff said they had encountered in years. The crowd did not simply respond to the music, they completed it. When the trio moved into O Sol Mio, voices from the audience rose without invitation to sing alongside them, a spontaneous chorus of thousands who knew every word. Many in the audience were seen wiping tears, not sorrowful tears, but the kind that come when something beautiful exceeds your capacity to contain it. This is what family does. It expands your heart past its own walls. Piero Barone, the eldest of the three and so often the steady gravitational center of their performances, carries his family's influence in a way that is almost architectural. The Sicilian discipline, the Catholic reverence for beauty, the particular pride of a people who have always known that what endures is not wealth or fame but love passed from hand to hand like bread. At a concert in Madrid, he held a final note so long, with such controlled and aching power, that when he finally released it the audience did not applaud immediately. They sat with it. They let it settle. Fans described the moment as the closest they had come in a public space to experiencing something spiritual. Which city's performance touched you the most? We genuinely want to know. What is perhaps most remarkable, and most moving about Il Volo's journey is the way their family values have extended outward to embrace their audience. They do not perform at their fans. They perform with them and for them, acknowledging again and again that the people in the seats are not separate from the story but woven into it. At their Tokyo performance, they bowed deeply and repeatedly. Not with the polished gesture of entertainers fulfilling protocol, but with the genuine gratitude of three sons who were raised to bow before what deserves reverence. The response was overwhelming. Viewers around the world who watched the footage described feeling included in something rare and real, something that transcended the boundary between performer and witness. And this, perhaps, is the truest measure of what family has given Il Volo. The ability to make strangers feel like they belong. To walk into an arena in a city where you may not speak the language and feel, when the first note rises, that you are somehow home. Music has always had this power in theory. But it takes artists raised with genuine love, artists who learn the value of connection not in a vocal studio but around a table, in a kitchen, in the ordinary irreplaceable hours of family life, to deliver that promise completely. Piero, Ignazio, and Gianluca did not simply develop voices. They were given hearts capable of holding what those voices needed to express. As we close this chapter of our journey together, it feels right to simply say, thank you. Thank you to the families who gave the world these three remarkable men. Thank you to the fans who have made Il Volo's story their own, who have carried their music into hospital rooms and wedding dances and quiet evenings when the world felt too heavy. And thank you to Piero, Ignazio, and Gianluca, for never forgetting where you came from, for letting love remain at the center of everything you create. Music unites what the world too often divides. And Il Volo, above all, understands that the most powerful thing any voice can do is remind another human being that they are not alone. If this journey moved you, please leave a comment below. We would love to hear which moment resonated with you most deeply, and which city's performance you believe captured Il Volo at their most extraordinary. Like this video if it touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear something beautiful today, and subscribe so you never miss another chapter in the Il Volo story. This community is a family too. And you are welcome here.